Hi, my name is Bara Janemi Chelo. I'm the Chief Enablement Officer for Buy Youth. Buy Youth is an AI-enabled crowdfunding and P2P lending platform that is created for youth to close the financial gap. Stay glued to this platform for more exciting projects for you, the youth.
Just like we said in the Donovan Gray episode, the views and opinions expressed on this episode have got nothing to do with Kalenga and myself.
Yeah, the views of the person speaking them.
Tan 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 tan.
Tell me the good that the leadership has done.
What this leadership has done, the only good, is increase CDF.
One thing.
That's
the only thing that the UPND government has done.
Tell me anything.
Education.
Let me tell you.
Free education, no?
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you these things. And I implore you guys to go beyond pronouncements. Let's start with free education. What is free education? Free education's meant the child goes from home, goes to school, finds books, pens, bags, and everything else, learns completely for free. That is what free education. Ask anyone who did free education back in the years. That is what free education means. Now, can we compare two scenarios? Under PF, where there was no, and in the previous government, where there was no free education, a child from grade 1 to grade 7 paid nothing. But that child still needed to buy books, bags, shoes, and everything that was needed. You go and check the cost of a bag in Bata, or rather a bag in Bata and shoes and the books in 2020. Go and check the cost that a parent would pay for those things. Meanwhile, the child was going to go from grade 1 to grade 7 free. All right. What the UPND has done now is to extend this freedom from grade 8 to grade 12. Not much difference. Is that from grade 12, from grade 8 to grade 12? They all are not paying. How much were they paying? 200 kwacha per term. Meaning a child was paying 600 kwacha per year. Now, can you now compare the cost of a bag, shoes, books, uniform today?
Inflation.
No, but I'm just telling you that people should not lie to you.
No, but it's got nothing to do with the government, though. There's been inflation.
Free education means absolutely nothing to pay. The parents today, other than transport to go to
school. Yeah, but you want the government to buy the bags and the books and the shoes as well.
Or you prefer they don't give free education?
So then don't call it free education, sir.
But it's free. That's exactly what it is.
Bakalenga.
You still have to be a responsibility as a parent to buy those things.
When we finish this podcast, pick up a phone call and call your parents, your mother. Call your mother. Ask her what free education meant.
Did it mean they were being bought shoes by the government?
Everything, sir. That is what free education means. Everything is paid for you. You ask the cost of it. Me, I'm a leader. I get to feel the pain. I get to feel the pain. But don't some parents who cannot afford to buy books.
Don't you start somewhere? Don't you start somewhere?
Huh?
Do you know? They have to start from somewhere?
So,
no.
If it is starting from somewhere, what this government could have done is to work on the cost of commodities.
Again, isn't that what they're doing?
What are they doing, sir?
But it's one thing at a time. Education free first.
I'm talking about the cost of commodities. So
yeah, but education free first, then move to the price of commodities.
Sir,
yes,
sir.
The price of commodities can only be brought down.
Those things don't have to move in stages. Those things have to go together.
But the price of commodities can only be brought down if you bring down inflation. Is that not so?
So who is increasing the inflation?
We had COVID.
In my COVID year, put them with PF.
We had, but hold on.
COVID year, no, but PF. In fact,
hold on.
No. Before you catch me,
let me.
In fact, we must give praise to the PF. Let me finish. Wait. In fact, we must even give credit to the PF.
Why is that?
Because they dealt with COVID. In other countries, advanced economies, they actually suffered more at the end of COVID than we did.
No, but then
these guys are just dealing with the drought. But look at how careless we've become.
Let me put my point across. How long was COVID?
2-3 years, 2019, 2020, 2021.
It affected trade, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the effects of that would be felt immediately after COVID?
What's a ripple effect?
It's a ripple effect that you're able to feel years after, because what Switcher just said is, 5 years later. When do you think the effects would start or would end?
Under 2 years.
And you're basing this off what? And what are you basing this 2 years from?
Leadership.
Guys, let me help you.
There are countries right now, America included, that are still feeling the effects of COVID. Do you know this?
Yeah, because economies were stunted.
Because the economies were at a standstill. There was no trade going on.
Colleagues, guys, let's not lose ourselves. I'll tell you this. Had we been dealing with people that really knows what they're doing, to start with, after COVID meant that let's revitalize our economy. It would have meant let's promote local entrepreneurship. Okay? Can you imagine today how much pain the local entrepreneurs are going through at the hands of ZRA, who is garnishing every little payment businessmen receive, who is failing to even give you a tax clearance just because you have got a little debt? How do you pay in Congole if you are not able to trade? Because the tax clearance is so important that for you to be able to do business, you must have that paper. For you to be able to pay back your Congole to ZRA, you must be able to trade. The people who thinks, who knows what to do, would not even go to, first of all, strangle the citizens by way of, garnishing, by way of, insisting that there must be a tax clearance. Today, if you are going to transfer $2,000, you pay 15%. Guys, now that doesn't sound like we have a leaders that knows what they have to do, because the citizens now needs to be helped. Okay? Today, do you know that it is a crime to even build a house? Otherwise, they could be on your doorstep. So what I'm trying to say, Kalenga, you asked me a question as to, has there been anything good the UPND have done? They've done something good.
Yeah.
They've increased the CDF. Now, I'll tell you the demon in that decision. Number one, there are places like Nkana. Nkana is a city. Okay? You give me 36 million kwacha per year. Out of that 36 million kwacha, I only have 15 million kwacha for community projects. In Nkana, I can't grade a road. I need to put a third road. Okay? To do a kilometer of third roads is 10 million kwacha. I have Twibukishe, Nkana West, I've got Parklands, I've got Chachacha. All those, they don't need graded roads. They need third roads. So in 1 year, I'll give you as an example. In Buchi, you know Kalenga where Buchi is. They have a problem of sanitation, sewer and sanitation. They needed $7 million. $7 million today is about 180 million kwacha. Do you know how many years it would have taken under CDF? 10 years, if not more. One area called Buchi addressing one problem, sanitation and sewer. In Mindolo, they have a problem of water. We need 54 million kwacha. Do you know how many 15 million kwachas are in 54? It will take me my entire term as MP to be able to address one problem in Mindolo. So what I'm telling you is that CDF alone is nothing. Well, people can celebrate it in rural areas, because in rural areas you can grade a road and people are celebrating.
And put boreholes.
In rural areas you can put a borehole and people are celebrating. Can you put a borehole in Mindolo? For who? Can you grade a road in Parklands and the people who let you? Okay? So what we are saying is that whereas this is their best decision they made, it has got implication, because what has happened now is that all these government ministries, have abdicated their responsibilities. They've stopped doing what they used to do. The Ministry of Infrastructure has stopped taking roads into our communities. They expect us to do with CDF. It can't happen. The police, the Minister of Home Affairs, they've stopped buying cars. We have to buy using CDF. But health have stopped building hospitals and clinics and ambulances buying. We have to buy through CDF. That's a demon in the CDF.
In terms of the debt that the current government inherited, is there any good they've done in terms of addressing that?
What have they done?
This guy.
guys.
Do you also believe that is partly why inflation is up?
Let me tell you this first of all. UPND came lying to you Zambians that the devil is a PF who overborrowed. And they borrowed that money for their girlfriends. That's what they tell you even now. That they had slave queens. They used to give that money to their slave queens. That's why they borrowed. Tell me how much the debt was in the PF. External debt was around $12 to $15 billion. Internal debt was somewhere. So put together, the debt that PF contractors was somewhere slightly around $19 to $20 billion. What did they do with the money? What the PF did with the money can easily be seen. You can see the airport, massive airport, not one. There's one in
Wasn't that PPP?
No, that was debt money. All these things you go to the
bridges,
the what?
Wasn't that Japan? Wasn't that
no? That
PPP
was,
as well?
When you talk about the debts, no, it's not PPP. PP is a private company.
No, I stand corrected.
PF did not do a lot of that nonsense called PPP.
I stand corrected.
So PF spent all that money in all these infrastructure. The hospitals, go to Levi Mwanawasa here. It's massive. Okay? Yes, they did not prudently manage that money because in some cases, there were questions. All right? They overborrowed, but because even them, they could not do what should be done. Okay? These guys come, first of all, showers a lot of derogatories around the PF to have been the demon who put us in so much a mess. They come in. What do we see? Massive borrowing. Borrowing to a point of you borrow to go and pay a debt. A point where you are even, you are even sending out 800 million, 80 million, you send to China. Free money, guys. In PSO, we have too much money. Okay. Without even the approval of the Secretary to Treasury.
But you haven't answered my question.
No,
Do you think that the debt
I'm coming there.
is directly linked to inflation?
First of all, you must know the inflation we are talking about today is not even realistic. It's false figures. Okay. For the last 15 years, we've not been able to make an adjustment to the consumer price index. So go and ask all the economists how they are calculating the inflation. The consumer price index changes almost on a monthly basis. It should be, addressed within 2-3 years. We've not changed the consumer price index for the last 15 years. Tell me the inflation we're talking about is realistic. Ask KITWE and what basis they're using to even calculate the inflation.
Now we need to do a part 2 with Andrew.
So you understand, right? So I'm not an economist. I would be lying if I sounded, but I can tell you the basics I learned in accounts about economists is that all these guys are doing the complete opposite of what must be done. So, sir, these guys,
the whole government,
I'll tell you this. You line up people to go and, professionals, namasuti, to go and celebrate the president's return from, engaging.
What has Jito done to you now?
Huh?
I'm saying, what has Jito done to you now?
I'm not talking about Jito. But the very fact that you go and parade civil servants to the airport to go and celebrate that the president has restructured, don't restructure the debt, pay it off. Haven't you seen Burkina Faso paying the debt? Haven't you seen Mali paying off the debt? Don't we have what it takes to pay the debts?
Do we?
Is that a question? Is that a question, sir? If you are going to be exporting in one destination $1.9 billion worth of gold, how can you fail today?
Well, we are importing a lot of goods too.
Sir, in one destination, the biggest consumer of our gold, my Chinese. But in United Arab Emirates alone, there's a report that we sent out, or we exported $1.9 billion of gold. How much went to China? How much went to England and the US and any other areas? So you can safely say that we could have exported $5 billion worth of gold in 1 year.
Are we a country that imports a lot?
Yes, we do.
What does that do to inflation?
It
our
obviously,
currency?
yes, it obviously, and to keep it all. But now look at these guys. I don't know why educated people are so dumb sometimes. You have a finance minister.
You must feel happy since you're not educated.
I am educated.
Now listen to me. Because all these things can't work in isolations. It's all packaged. Let's talk about inflation vis-a-vis how we can reduce on importations and all that, because all these things, they all push your inflations and all that stuff. Your currency can't perform well. How can we deal with that? Number one, why not grow your economy to an extent where you prioritize, building the manufacturing base? Today, we produce copper. The world is scrambling for copper. That is why the prices of copper do not fall. It continues to go up. Why not create industries, or at least put a stop to copper being sent out raw? Why not put, a rule that compels all those who are coming for your copper to come and set up the industries here? If you are going to do bullets, if you are going to do cables.
No, they agree with you.
They agree, right? You know what that does? That tells you, that addresses one of your problems, that we cannot be importing cables from China, electricity cables from China. When Zamefa used to do that, the NEOCANT does that. Why not promote all these industries to be, producing these cables? Why should we be buying bullets when we can actually produce the bullets? Why should we, Mukula? Why should you put a ban to the export of Mukula? Why not attract those Chinese to come and set up the industries here and harness the Mukula? So how you address all those things is that, can you, create an environment or policies that promotes your manufacturing base here?
I agree with you.
Now, do you know, before you come in, I lose my thoughts, the biggest enemy you have today, which is why you cannot even manage your currency, is your fuel. We have become a hand-to-mouth country on fuel. Daily cashing. Every day, today, you have to buy your fuel. It's not small kwachas. It's millions of dollars every day that you have to send out to get your fuel. Do you know who has taken us there? The UPND had to make a decision to change the policy on the fuel subsector to prioritize the interests of agrofuel. One company. In the process, you do away with Indeni, you do away with Tazama. In the wisdom of Kenneth Kaunda, he set up Indeni, Kalenga Umfwefi. But Kaunda, in his wisdom, by the way, Kaunda was very young when he became president, 40.
Younger than you?
Yes. I'm actually older than but your first president. Kaunda created Indeni, created Tazama. The idea was, because we don't have fuel here, we'll be buying in bulk fuel. It comes, docks in Dar es Salaam. Instead of starting transporting that through trucks, we'll plug in our pipe, Tazama, take that pipe to Indeni to be separated. By the way, we were buying commingled fuel. What we'll have now is, diesel, petrol, kerosene, jet fuel, and a byproduct called, heavy fuels, HFO. This HFO led to the formation of Ndola Energy, which produces electricity up to 105 megawatts. Indeni led to the employment of many residents of Ndola as well as Tazama. What government could have done, if they had competent people, was to relook at this. Indeni could only get in commingled fuel. They could not refine crude oil. It needed you to pump in $500 million to buy a hydrocracker that will address or manage any, crude oil. So Kaunda at Indeni set up storage facilities that would keep fuel up to 3 months of our fuel needs, diesel, petrol, and everything else. So what that meant is that at any time a ship comes, docks, and you plug in, when Tazama or Indeni finishes the separation, you will have fuel to cover you for 3 months. It means that in 3 months, you will not be affected by any price changes on the international market. You will not adjust your prices of fuel for 3 months. That is what, Kaunda did. What UPND needed was to pump in $500 million into Indeni and $1 billion into the upgrade of Tazama. Plus the decision made by the previous government, by PF, to build extra storage facilities. There's one in Lusaka, there's one in Chipata, there's one in Solwezi, there's one in Mansa. The idea was, let's build storage facilities across all the provinces so that we can increase our storage capacity from 3 months to maybe 1 year.
Thank you.
What that does is that, what that does is you can stay without changing the price of fuel for a year. What it does is that you will not be offloading your dollars on a daily basis to buy your fuel, which ultimately affects your dollar. And you are sitting here asking, Bashinganga to tell you, how is it that we fail to manage our dollar? It's incompetence, sir.
Mpundu, it seems to me like you've got the solution to almost every problem that this country is facing. Let's move on. Modesty, because you keep attacking the government right now.
For who?
Yeah, modesty for who? I want to hear more about your personal life. There's a time.
I don't.
No, wait. It comes back to this. There's a time when I came to your yard and your house was surrounded by police officers.
Here?
Yes.
Which yard?
Here, right here. This is also a community house. We come here to chill. So there's a time I was coming here and I found over 100 riot police officers.
You counted?
Well, give or take. Figure of speech. Tell us the backstory behind that. And your statement about us arming ourselves. What was that about?
Okay, so JJ Banda is reported missing.
That's him there, yeah?
Yeah.
Where is he?
I don't know.
You know.
Actually, he's in the hands of Jack Mwimbu.
Isn't he in Zimbabwe?
No. You didn't hear. What? Jack Mwimbu reported that they had, arrested, JJ.
And then I heard that the Zimbabwean...
information.
Let me finish. And then I heard that the Zimbabwean police then released JJ Banda.
Yes.
No, but from where I stand...
You heard that too, right?
Have you heard me talk about JJ these days? I don't. Why? Because the Minister of Home Affairs came and addressed the nation that they had arrested JJ. They're about to bring him here.
Did JJ not go live?
Him where?
Did JJ not go live on Facebook?
Yeah, but arrested him where is he?
In Harare, from what I heard. And then shortly after that, the Zimbabwean police let him go.
Guys, why would you want to argue with government? Honestly speaking,
Why
you are trying to argue with government. The Minister of Home Affairs addressed the nation where he said, we have arrested JJ. Do you hear me?
Where was he arrested?
He was arrested in Zimbabwe.
So where is he?
Jack Mwimbu has got JJ in his hands.
Where? At his house.
I don't know.
No, you know what?
My story now.
I thought I was sarcastic.
I know, right?
I was slow. Because for 2 minutes...
Those who don't know these things.
I thought... No, that's a good one.
I know, but
that's a good one.
Being very realistic,
The king of sarcasm from today on.
Okay.
No, that was a good one, though.
Am I saying things that you don't know? That the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs announced that they were just now formalizing, extradition,
from Zimbabwe.
From Zimbabwe.
They
actually arrested JJ. These things you are seeing on social media, JJ going live, are fictions. Honorable Jack Mwimbu arrested JJ. He told the nation. That's why we don't talk about it.
But have you been talking to JJ this whole while?
No, but how do I talk to somebody who has been arrested?
Friend. There's a photo of you and him on the wall.
No, but I used to talk to him until Jack Mwimbu arrested him.
Can this go up tomorrow?
So you asked me what the police officers were doing. So what happened is JJ is reported missing. Interestingly, there was a clip that happened last week on Parliament where we were talking about safe city cameras. Safe city cameras are able to pick minute activities away from here in Chilanga. That's how safe this is. Oh, by the way, I must warn you, careful with those safe city cameras. They can actually capture you doing shenanigans.
In my house?
No, not in the house.
In your car?
Outside. Yeah, but even in your car, if a car is able to be...
So why are you worried about what you do in your car?
No, so...
No, why would I be worried about what you're doing in your house?
So...
You said you don't see us in our home.
So I think the story of JJ is very well known.
Okay.
So JJ is reported abducted. What happened is that they found his car and they found a note. That note was written, apparently...
That car is similar to the car that Magnet has, hey?
Yeah. So it happens that the slip that had that apparent suicide note is a laundry sheet for me. It's my laundry sheet from the motel.
For you?
Yeah.
Your name was on that?
Yeah, I'm the one who got, that sheet. It was in JJ's car. They used it to write that suicide note at the back of it.
Who's they?
The police. The abductors.
Okay.
The abductors, the story of JJ is that JJ was meant to write a story, apparent to look like a suicide. So they picked a paper from his car. At the back of that paper, he had to write that suicide note. Now, it happens that paper was my laundry sheet.
Where was it in his car?
It was in his car because at some point, I would drive his car, he would drive my car. If you go into my room there, you'll find a box full of JJ's stuff. Oh, by the way, there's actually a room which specifically is for JJ if he wants to come and rest.
So is he not there right now?
Virgin, can you just check?
So the police officers now, there was some section of law enforcement who wanted to create a scenario that JJ was, it was a staged abduction. So part of the people they were suspecting to have, been part of the staging was me because of that, document. That is how the police came here to come and pick me up in connection with the investigations. So, but you see, they did not come in proper manners. They came without, being identified. I could just hear the guard saying there are 16, people here who are looking suspicious. So when I was told they did not even have police cars, they had private cars, they were not in uniform. So, JJ has just disappeared. And there are 16 people looking for me. I actually locked myself in. And I did not open up. They were here from 7 up to 16 hours.
7 a.m.?
7.
They really wanted you, eh?
Yeah.
Well, so now the most important question is, how did you know they were police?
No, so what happened
They
is...
didn't announce. They told the guard.
Yeah. So
I thought the guard said that they were just suspicious people.
So what happened is that when the guard told me now, so I called
the lawyer.
So I called Honorable Chonde to come because I hate. So I did not want to open up. So I asked somebody to come and check. When he came, he identified one of the police officers in plain cloth.
Yeah.
That is how we learned, and I had to call my lawyer to come. When the lawyer came, he actually confirmed they were police officers. When he asked them what they wanted, they didn't know what they wanted. They just wanted to come and pick me.
Or they didn't want to tell your lawyer. They probably knew.
Well, they were just sent to come and pick me, So they didn't know. That's what we can conclude. They didn't know because they could not disclose. How do you not disclose to my lawyers? And you want the lawyers to present me to you. So they came to pick me. And then because my lawyers then learned of what, so we started communicating now with head office, headquarters to know why we were wanted. And so headquarters around 15, 16, they were able to tell us that we were needed in connection with JJ. That's how we said, okay, we come. And I walked out at 16 hours and we went to
So were you locked up? Or it was just an
No,
interview?
no, I wasn't locked up. They just did, we just had an interaction. I think they were not satisfied as to why they should arrest me.
Was it your job to satisfy them?
Well, I must have satisfied them because you see, I asked
That was a dirty joke, and you walked into it.
So I asked them very simple questions. They were asking me where I was when JJ was disappearing. I threw this question to them. There's no way the state can ask me where I am, where I was. The state knew because a night before I was traveling to KITWE. I actually communicated to JJ at 19 hours when I got into KITWE. The police knew where I was because they could actually pick the communication, where I was and where JJ was. Okay, they could actually pick me, in the traffic, in my car passing through the toll gates. So the police knew where I was, and also.
But that doesn't mean that you were not involved in his abduction. The fact that you were in KITWE,
They have remotely engineered things.
So if I'm involved in the abduction, seriously, you can tell from the conversations.
which conversation?
The ones I had on phone with him.
No, but again, if you planned to have that
Oh,
abduction,
by the way,
yeah,
this is now interesting. The area where JJ was abducted, I hope we don't turn this into it because we asked a question, is the ZAF area. That's near the American embassy. Or if you didn't know.
it's near my house too.
Yeah, if you didn't know, in that area, if you leave that area, that's a very secure area. That area, you are watched 24/7. The American embassy is such a secure area. They can pick up your phone calls some 200 meters away, and they can actually listen to your conversations.
I feel bad for people who've got side chicks in that area. Hey,
Very good. So what I feel, and this is what I was telling the police, there's no way you would not know what happened to JJ. That you should call me to ask me about what happened to JJ. There's no way you would not know because number one, you have safe city cameras. Those are able to pick minute activities far away in Chilanga.
but let me ask you a question. Don't you think they were actually doing their job properly by coming to get you because they saw your laundry sheet in his vehicle? If that laundry sheet belonged to Switcher, would you not have been satisfied that they went and they snatched him up to ask him questions?
Is that what you call proper work?
No, but that's an investigation. They're following up leads, right?
No. Let's be very realistic here. I'm a member of parliament. You don't pick me like a common criminal. If I'm suspected to have committed a crime, call me. I have parliament. The procedure is that you must write to my parliament. We want this guy to come. I'll come. Where can I run to? I didn't commit a crime. So to come.
So it was the manner of how they came to get you, but not really them following up on leads.
No. Them following up on me was okay. It's part of an investigation. I'm a friend to JJ. They found a laundry sheet in his car. By all manner and intent, they were okay. But to come and pick me in 16 officers in plain clothes, unacceptable.
You were slept.
Unaccepted.
Who was
You were
slept?
slept. Or you were slept.
And the guards there.
Who are you? You are his.
Is my run around guy.
He's your PA.
Yeah, but you've got a slappable face though.
Iwe, can you stop? Let's continue this conversation.
Oh, God has a question here.
Yeah, a question. According to the facts that you heard that day, do you think JJ Banda was abducted?
Come again?
Was JJ Banda abducted? According
Yes.
to what you know.
You think he was?
What makes you think he was abducted?
JJ came to tell the story. JJ told the entire nation. JJ told the interrogating officers. JJ told his lawyers. He told the nation that he was abducted. He did not end at saying he was abducted.
Did he say by whom and for what
He
reason?
actually told who abducted him.
Who?
He mentioned Hamasaka. He mentioned this advisor to the president for politics. What is this? Levin Goma. And he also mentioned Trevor Mwinde. It's not me.
Why?
No, it's not me who's mentioning.
No. Why?
I'm just answering a question that he mentioned these three people.
Why would they abduct him?
Would I know? That is now a question we have to reserve for But even him would not know. How would you know why, the abductors? Of course, what I have been told, they were asking him funny questions.
So how does he know? Wait, did they physically, those 3 people came to take him, or
No,
they ordered?
He recognized them. That's what he says.
So they were part of the people who came to snatch him from his car.
Well, he says they were part of the interrogation wherever he was taking. He saw those.
No.
So he was picked.
Hold on.
He was picked. Remember, he was cornered. He was driving, found a car. He turns into Bowlen. Another car stops him.
Wait, why is he being arrested again?
Huh?
JJ Banda, why is he being arrested again?
So that's now an interesting part where we are going.
Okay.
Finish your story. He's cornered.
So he's cornered. They take him. They took him to where he was being interrogated, where they were torturing him, and then he identified 3 individuals out of those.
Just hold your thought.
But this is reported speech, right?
Exactly. And I'm going to write on reported speech. Let's be realistic here. You're driving at 02, 03. 2 car corners you. One in front, one behind. What will make you, in your right mind of state, open the door?
So they stopped him.
But why do you think you opened the door?
Because there was no scratch on the car.
So listen.
The car was intact.
So listen to what happened. So they stopped him. So he's being chased here. There's a car in front. They stopped him. So they came out of the car. They were banging on his windows. He couldn't open. They then, threw a stone on the screen. At that point, he knew that things were not okay. They were criminals. So he had to open.
See, right there. Cap.
Sorry?
Okay,
That's
so
what the problem
tell me in any given circumstance, you have that scenario that you can't open because they were still going to break it.
See, once again, now,
those
let's be realistic.
Those are things that we should not even impute.
Hold on. Let's be realistic for a second. Yes. Hold on, Gob. Let's be realistic for a second. You've got one car in front of you, you got one car behind you, and the people banging on your door, right? You think whatever they want to do is not good.
See,
right?
So
this is 02.
Right, and this is 2 in the morning, and you're close to a graveyard.
So from JJ's story that he told the lawyers, as reported by the lawyers, at that point, he thought these are car criminals. They wanted his car. He opened up because his life was precious. Let me give them my car.
Did they have any weapons?
No, he didn't have.
No, did they? Or what weapons did they have?
Well, apparently he says they had guns.
So they took a stone to break the glass when they had a gun.
Yeah, but did they want to kill him?
No, they want to break the window.
Well, the question is, did they want to kill him?
No, they want to break the window to open the door.
If you're going to start shooting,
one thing we're missing again is we don't know what mindset he was in.
Yeah. No, but
the guy's in fear. You can do anything.
No, hold on.
In fear. There are people with guns outside your car.
Hold on. Never mind the guns.
It's easy to say things when you're not there. You know what I mean?
So again, you are asking the wrong person.
Just a second.
No.
Never mind. Never mind JJ. Never mind JJ. The criminals themselves, they want to get a car and they're banging on the door, and the guy's not opening up, and they've got a gun. They're going to opt to go and get a rock, to throw a rock instead of just shooting the window.
I don't know why they did that. I'm not here to explain themselves.
But again, you see, you are asking a very wrong person. Me, the only thing I can tell you is as the story goes.
No, you're reporting. I hear you.
Now,
we're just speculating now.
Luckily now, we have JJ alive
to come and tell his own story.
In fact, JJ has already told the story. JJ was being interrogated by not one officers. There were 12 police officers at command center who interrogated him. I want to believe that JJ gave out the minor of details. The slightest of every detail, he gave that to the police, to a point where he actually says, this one and that one and that one, I saw them. The next thing is, I think this is what we must now interest ourselves in. JJ disappears. He had been in parliament for 2 years. He had never been unwanted for any crimes. Are you listening to me?
This is why I'm asking why
he had been in parliament for 2 years. There was never a report of JJ being wanted at the police. You would have heard about it. JJ now misses. And the whole country is entertained to prospects. I'll put that here. Of an abduction. Interestingly, JJ is found alive. And he lives to tell the story. He names 3 people. Even if I was not a police officer, Even if the named people were my friends, out of, the public, the expectation, we could have seen these guys being taken to police formality-wise, even if you want to protect them, formality-wise, so that we, the public, would see that how the police, they are working. Look, they caught Binwell, they caught the 3 people who were named, and obviously this matter is going. Interestingly, JJ is arrested.
Why?
For what crimes? Apparently, crimes that could have been committed in 2015. This was 2023. Apparently, they now get to have him arrested over cases that were committed in 2015. Now,
So they were committed?
apparently. Now, listen to this. The public has been entertained to some drama that JJ was arrested for urinating in somebody's mouth.
Okay.
All right? Okay, so there are 2 gentlemen called Sukwa, and I've forgotten the gentleman he now works for. He's part of Members Party, the Socialist. There's an instance that happened in Vubwi, where apparently from the reports, JJ's team attacked some journalists, 2 of them. In that fracas, apparently, a camera was destroyed belonging to the Post newspaper. And it turns out to be that this particular journalist had lost a 200 kwacha from the details being provided now. So for this matter, JJ was arrested.
For robbery?
He was arrested for assault. And the matter was taken to court. JJ was found guilty, actually pleaded guilty to assaulting this journalist. He was fined a 12,000 kwacha, which he paid, which 12,000 kwacha went to the journalist, and the 2,000 kwacha which went to the courts. That's how JJ walked to freedom for having paid that fine by the courts. Years down the line, a report comes that no, JJ has been arrested for the similar incidents, but now different facts. From the public, we hear he was arrested because he had urinated in Sukwa's mouth. When this matter is reported, the police have got this, a statement changes. The statement now suggests that JJ threatened to burn Sukwa alive. So he has been charged with the attempted murder. This Sukwa lost a 200 kwacha, so he has been charged with aggravated robbery. So number 1, there's nobody whose mouth was urinated in. Because twice this matter has gone to court. Twice, there's no record of anybody claiming they were urinated on.
There's no affidavits to that effect.
There's nothing.
There's
So
no
I think
docket,
that
no affidavit,
There's nothing. It was just some media sensation. Up to this end, people say JJ is a criminal, he urinated in somebody's mouth. This person is alive. This matter has gone to the courts twice.
Is there a complainant?
Yes, there is.
The same Sukwa?
Yes. Sukwa now is the one who has come back after initially was paid 12,000 kwacha as compensation for the damaged camera. He has now come back to say JJ threatened to burn him alive. That is why he has been charged with 2 counts. 1 for attempted murder and 2 for aggravated robbery for a 200 kwacha that Sukwa lost. This is a Sukwa that was paid 12,000 kwacha by the courts as compensation. He actually now comes back that he lost a 200 kwacha. That is aggravated robbery.
So here's my question. We don't have a lawyer in here.
No, those are facts, by the way, that you can pick from.
No, I hear you. So, in this altercation between JJ and Sukwa, the altercation did happen.
Apparently it did.
Right, because he pleaded guilty.
Yes.
Right. So, I am trying to figure out when, if in an argument between you and I threaten to burn you, when does that become
attempted murder?
Attempted murder, unless I actually
light you up and you survive, right?
Right. Or I get petrol, for example, pour it on you, and then for some reason I don't light you. I'm trying to figure out when you move from
the
just
line, yeah.
a threat to it actually being attempted murder.
I feel so sad that, we have become a country where, a victim becomes a villain.
There's a lot
Now,
that's not being said here.
Wait. In this instance, JJ is a victim. He has been abducted. You pick him up, suffers a multiple of ailments. He's taken in police, even though Jack was claiming he's verified. They pick him from a private hospital. They decide to take him to a military hospital. He doesn't spend one day there. He spends close to a month. Somebody who was okay. Somebody who was fitting almost every day.
Who was what?
Fitting. Fits. He was fitting almost on a daily basis.
Epileptic?
Yes. For a month. He's not being held in a facility where you think that there can be collusion. The doctor can write something. He's being held in a military hospital. Jack Mwimbu had the audacity to tell the country, no, we saw him. He's very okay. Meanwhile, after suffering all this ordeal, 1 month down the line, they take him to a clinic called Skanze. In the night, they bang him into, or they push him into a Land Cruiser, drive him in the night from Lusaka into Chipata in a sitting position from a bed, from a sick bed. He goes there, he develops hernia. Okay, this is a victim. On top of that, you slap him with those outrageous charges that you are asking. How did it turn to become attempted murder? And aggravated robbery for a 200 kwacha that this guy lost. This is a guy that actually lost or was compensated 12,000 kwacha. So, you know what we don't do? It's like the issue I had in Parliament, for which I was sent out last Friday. Mungandu comes to Parliament, Honorable Mungandu, and alleges that I am the one actually who facilitated the running away of JJ from the hospital. Have you heard that?
How?
The Honorable MP for Chama South came to the floor of the House, raised the point of order, in which point of order he alleges that I am the one. I should actually stop insinuating that JJ was abducted by the state, which I've never made. But that I'm actually the one who facilitated the escape of JJ from the hospital. He is protected by parliamentary immunities. But you see, I am being abused in Parliament, being defamed in Parliament.
Every time
and the Speaker is watching. I react, I protest. I'm the one sent out of Parliament. And you see social media, people now becoming, keyboard warriors. Nobody excited or what to, insult me, the victim of that abuse. Same. We have become a country where the victim becomes the villain.
Why can't you abuse back?
Unfortunately, the rules don't allow. Otherwise, do you know what you could have said? Because I merely stood up. But Speaker, you can't allow him to continue. Have you seen how I've been insulted? Can you imagine if I abused him back?
Why aren't you?
No, I'm saying this. I'm saying this because you see, you are expecting me to act like an angel. The only mistake I did was to stand up to protest, to ask the Speaker, stop this guy from abusing me. Just that sees me kicked out. Can you imagine now if I also abused him? What this society would have made of me? Mungandu, nobody has talked about him. Nobody has questioned Sukwa. Nobody has questioned him over all the allegations, including alleging that JJ urinated in his mouth, which he has failed to take to the police. Nobody has questioned that.
How did the urination happen? Did he just...
Well, that is what you now... I think you need to bring Sukwa
Was
to the
he held by other people?
And told, say,
Yeah, you know what I mean. How does that happen?
So,
Yeah.
guys,
Okay, yeah.
guys, we must become a society that moves from being gullible to easily believe anything that is churned out to interrogating these things.
Challenge.
If I make
Question
a claim, if I make a claim, anything that I've said on this podcast, interrogate it. Because I'm not the alpha and omega. I don't obviously have
Who's the
absolute
Suka
truth.
person right now? Is he a journalist?
He's a journalist.
He's a journalist.
Where? I don't know for what where he works. It's in public domain. I don't know where he works now. So my request, guys, is very simple. We need to become a country of honest people, men of honor. It's unhonorable to attack somebody or to allege evil on somebody, and society feasts on the one who is being abused. You remember the case of Tayari, Chirufa Tayari? The whole country watched a clip of him being visited by men with machine guns. You saw that, right? Tayari goes to complain. Perhaps the only mistake he made was to suggest that this could have been army officers. Maybe that's the only mistake he made. But you see why he made that mistake is because he thought that they are the only ones who can have such guns. But criminals can also have. But you see what happens. Tayari goes in on what is that charge? A very serious charge, which otherwise would have seen him go for many years. Do you know why Tayari ran away? Because he feels that there's no justice system. The society is not fair.
Is that why you're saying JJ ran away too?
Yes. JJ is reported missing. Comes and tells the story of him being,
Abducted.
What is this? Tortured. He goes into hospital for almost a month. He's bundled into a van, driven from a hospital bed. Or you should hear the story of how they picked him. The police goes, Officer Yui goes to Minasok, finds JJ had just, come around from a fitting. He's there, the doctors are there. He comes around from a fitting. Officer Yui comes, picks him, puts him on the stretcher. Let's take him out. As they are taking him out, he falls, fits again, falls down. Picks him up, puts him on the stretcher. Let's go. They are going out. He again falls. Picks him from there. Again, let's go. Bands him into an ambulance. They take him to Skanze. From a big hospital like that, they take him to Skanze Hospital. From there, in the night, they put him in a van. They drive him all the way to Chipata in a sitting position. Somebody who has been fitting the whole day. He's there in the hospital. And you think that somebody who expect a fair treatment?
Just like we said in the Donovan Gray episode, the views and opinions expressed on this episode have got nothing to do with Kalenga and myself.
Yeah, the views of the person speaking them. Speaking of guns, you brought the issue of guns with Tayali. Recently, if not about 3 weeks ago, you were arrested again. As a disha statement, were you encouraged or is it incited or insinuated to politicians and the citizenry to arm themselves with equal measure? What's the full story behind that as well?
I was out with my family in SA. For the first time, I went to just have a breather.
Guys, speaking of urinating, give me a minute.
Don't do it to anybody's mouth, eh?
So, then I get the story. I see the video of President Sean Tembo narrating how he was attacked by UPND cadres to a point where they chased him from a campaign center all the way to the police station in Kawambwa. There at the police station, the officers are there, including senior police officer in charge of the province, Officer Yui. If you watch that video, Sean Tembo is explaining how even officers were chasing them from the police station. No, go. Meanwhile, the attackers are outside with tools to harm them. is then showing how the cuts is sustained at the hands of these attackers. Now, I'm here as a fellow politician. I'm saying you were actually attacked right in the presence of the police, at the police station, and no statement from the police, nothing. Guys, if you are going to be attacked by the police or by the cadres, Kalenga, the PF used to have cadres who used to even attack some people. I had never heard of PF cadres going to attack people at the police station in presence of the police officers. So this is me now saying, you guys, looks like you are on your own as politicians. If you're going to be attacked right in the presence of police officers, you are on your own. What does the law say? The law provides for self-defense. That is why I went to study law at some point. The law provides for self-defense, and it is permissible. The only catch is that the force you use to defend yourself must be commensurate with the aggression.
But isn't that a little unfair on the police, because the attack could have happened before the police could do anything about
but
it?
the attackers went and chased them all the way to the police. If you should go and watch the video, the narration of Sean Tembo, they will actually chase them into the offices. So these are people that were known even by the police. The police could not even arrest these characters. So my statement was to suggest that it looks like we are now on our own. Because if we are going to be attacked and the police are watching, they don't. Up to now, you have never read a statement from the police over what happened in Kawamu. They've not said anything. What does that tell you? They have shielded those characters because they knew them.
Yeah, but isn't it a little excessive again to encourage people to arm themselves?
No, listen to this. Because what is important, do you know that any crime you commit is actually laid down in a penal code?
Yes.
So when you are alleged to have committed a crime, all the police will do is to go to the penal code and say, okay, this action you did amounts to this crime, and it even prescribes the penalties or the punishment. The question is self-defense a crime in Zambia? It's not a crime. The only catch is your reaction or the force you use
needs to be
equal to the aggression. So if somebody comes with a knife and you use a knife, afraid.
So you can't use a gun to someone who's attacking you with a knife?
Then
don't attack me then. See, this one I don't like.
Now, that's the point I'm driving to. So I am now saying, colleagues, as politicians, we now need to equip ourselves with guns to stand ready to defend ourselves. Because if you saw what happened in Pt2, Honorable Brenda Nyerenda was being chased. These guys produces guns, and they are shooting at Honorable Nyerenda. So, if you have, criminals attacking you with guns, shouldn't you by now be preparing yourself with a gun? Shouldn't you have a gun? Is it lawful to have a gun in Zambia? The laws in Zambia allows you as citizens to have guns. All you have to do, buy a gun now, go to the police, and get a license for that gun. So if I'm going to ask you, Kalenga, that get a gun, is that a crime?
No, but it sounds to me like...
I advise you as a friend. You need to get... By the way, I get advice a lot. Buy guns.
Don't you think you'd raise a war with such statements, though?
No, but you raise a war on who?
How so?
How so?
Against who?
If all of us have guns, we're going to tend to start using them.
Kalenga, do you know how many people have guns today? Imwe, do you know how many people have guns today? Even you guys, you have guns. Let's have a pretender.
Yeah.
Have you waged any war?
Well, firstly, not that I agree with you, but to speak to Kalenga, do you know who has guns?
All of
criminals.
Everyone does.
No, it's not just criminals.
No, but my point is this. If you have to defend yourself...
In equal measure.
In equal measure. Again, I'm not agreeing with you because it got you into trouble.
And I keep emphasizing that because that's what he said. In equal measure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the point you raised is very important. This country must focus on the problem. There wouldn't be a need to defend yourself, even if it means knives. there wouldn't be a need to defend yourself if there's no attacker. So our point must be, can we begin to address where is the problem? There are criminals disguising in cadres who are attacking people. Why shouldn't we focus on these criminals? Because if they are not there in the first place, there wouldn't be a need.
Criminals will always be there, though.
No, but these are cadres now. These are cadres. And they went to attack people in the presence of the police. You even know them. Shouldn't you at least be focusing on those cadres? It's like this issue of why me? You have cadres, having a press conference, threatening to deal with the former president, threatening to circumcise him. You didn't hear that?
No.
Huh? Where are you living?
I need to get on social media. I didn't hear this as well.
There is actually a councillor and a leader in the UPND in the Northwestern. They had a press conference where they said, Imo Krusoko Koba Youth Krusaka, you are playing too much. Bring that idiot called Edgar Lungu here in Northwestern so that we can circumcise.
They said in those exact words.
Guys, do I look like I can lie? Honestly speaking. I'll send you the videos.
Guys.
Send you the videos. So you have criminals now.
I've taken note.
Who actually can even stage a press conference to threaten citizens. They are walking free. And you think that you have the guts to blame Why Me for the insults. The leadership in the UPND, honestly speaking, you can tell me they have the energy to condemn Why Me, let alone to take him to prison. If they are going to allow their own officials, one of whom is even a councillor right now, who is unleashing those insults and threats. What society are we? You have two sets of laws in this country where Munia Zulu says the people of Lumezi are more intelligent than the people of Wengwa. Is arrested, is about to go to prison over that statement. Meanwhile, a minister goes to Luapula, Minister of Education, says, you the people of Luapula, you suffer from mental poverty. Do you know what poverty means? It's a lack. You have no brains, the people of Luapula. Where is he? What sort of a country are we? How can the people who are in charge of this country today have even the guts to even stand up and say there's rule of law? There's democracy. We are promoting dissenting views. How? Guys, it looks like you guys don't live in this country because these things you are getting shocked about.
Yeah.
You don't live in this country.
To be honest, we're too hungry and we're too busy chasing money.
And also, there's a lot of negativity happening on the news to start with, and the news that comes to social media. I like to protect my energy, so I've been staying away from most of
that. But I guess also, depending on your interest, your algorithm
it brings
you what you're interested in.
So for you, it's political news that will come to your timeline.
But guys, I beg, on the grave of my mother and father, I beg you this. Politics is too an important element of our lives that you cannot ignore for hustling.
But this is why we have people like you, so you can educate us.
No! When the intelligent people stay away from politics, they'll be ruled by fools.
Yeah, well, this is a very interesting conversation.
Have you heard me?
I heard you.
When you, the normal people, the intelligent people, when you stay away, we the fools are going to decide your lives.
Touche.
It's unfortunate. So politics is such an important avenue of life that you cannot stay away. I'm not asking you to become MP or mayor or councillor, but you must take an interest to a point that you don't just have to wait to go and vote. You must also be able to influence who should be voted for.
If you could get into any party right now, which party would you get into?
The Movement for Good Governance. Ichabaiche.
That's your political party, right?
No, it's a movement.
It's a movement?
No, but right now with the political parties that are there,
No, I wouldn't join anyone.
No.
I'll join the Movement for Good Governance.
Including your previous party that you're part of?
That's why I walked away, because I didn't agree with the way they were managing things.
They just didn't renew.
But I think you're playing semantics here by calling it a movement.
They just didn't renew your contract.
Well, it's a political movement.
Nelson, sorry. I think you're playing semantics here.
It's a political movement.
MMD called themselves a movement as well.
Yes. At some point, they were able to transition.
Which is what you're going to do as well.
So listen, we are not far from MMD. Okay? MMD was a grouping of Zambians who came together because they were pursuing a particular agenda. The agenda was to push that Zambia multipartyism.
Yes.
At some point when Kaunda then says, okay, we have it all. They said, we waste a lot of time. We are already organized. Let's transform this into a political party. That is also what we can do.
You know who you remind me of?
We'll do.
You know who you remind me of? Julius Malema.
Is it?
Julius Malema. No, seriously, no, I'll tell you.
But
why.
I'm not talking about land here.
No, I'll tell you why.
Expropriation.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Julius Malema got chucked out of the ANC. And because of the rebellion and because he was upset, he went independent and he started his own thing. Your contract was not renewed. And out of frustration for not being adopted,
You went independent.
you went independent. But had it been renewed, we'd have been we've been talking a different thing because you'd be under PF right now.
Of course. That is why God does everything he does so that there are lessons we can pick up. I picked up a very important lesson that I was with the people that were not loyal to me. I was loyal to the party, gave my services to the party. When I needed to be MP, 2016, they rejected me.
Maybe you weren't
2021, but I won. How was I not ready? I had saved the city of KITWE for crying out loud. I was a big boy.
Icho.
How can you say you're not ready? You know, the constituency is too small to a district. I had managed a district, 5 constituencies. How can somebody ever think that I was not ready? So what I'm saying is, yes, I walked out of PF. I love PF up to this end. Except I don't know which PF now exists because the PF has now been destroyed.
Let me ask you.
But the
Okay,
PF
go ahead.
of then, of Michael Sata, I fell in love with the agenda for the poor people. I'm a poor person myself. I align with
Was
poor.
a poor person.
I'm actually poor. The few things you see are just some of the privileges I've gotten out of being MP, out of being DC. But I'm actually a poor guy.
Let me ask you a question. With what you have just said, that you served, was it Nkana?
Yeah.
When you were under PF?
I was DC.
You were DC.
District Commissioner, yeah.
Is it possible that a person could be good at their job, serve as DC extremely well, but have a shitty attitude at the company? Because when you're fired, you're not fired because you're not talented anymore. You're fired because you're insubordinate, you're rude, you're etc.
Incompetent.
So you could have been a great DC, but how was your... What's the word that I'm looking for? Your behavior, for lack of a better word, towards or within the party, for them to say, we're not going to renew this person.
You see, we're dealing with, the experience I've got in political parties is that, number one, traditional political parties have never and will never give an opportunity to young people. So you are based not by your abilities, you are based by your standing, your position, your stature, your financial positions. I was judged because I didn't have money and they looked at me as being young. And that is the experience of many young people. That is why today, young people continues to be used as ladders. And sadly, the young people are so excited to escort the old to power. I would never do that nonsense anymore.
Someone needs to give Switcher a mic because he's giving so many ad-libs. I need you to get into enough trouble. Have you noticed that?
So, for me, because life has taught me so much, I've come to a point where, you know what they say about insanity?
That you're the last one to know?
No?
You keep doing the same things
over and over again.
expecting a different result.
Zambia is an insane country. We are insane people. We've been trying the same formula, same leaders, over and over again. It started in 1991. We have the same characters who served in 1991. They are still here. They were corrupt under MMD. They became corrupt under PF. The possibilities are that they are still corrupt under UPND. But we're expecting different results, which is why I am one of those from a school of thought that seems to suggest that we need to try a different formula. We need to have a generational shift in terms of leadership, which is why I'll still ballock you at your statement that you are not interested in politics. We need
No. I love politics, right? I love politics. I've just not spent as much time as I probably should.
I am encouraging you to
on the
spend
news
time,
so that,
please.
where I would know what some member of parliament has said about Wambo.
Guys, do you know this podcast,
The biggest in
this
the country.
is big, yeah. If this country was being ruled by
I think he wants you to say something.
there's a news I'm reading that a young man, Isaac Pombolok, has been involved in a terrible road accident, and I was supposed to just meet him this afternoon.
Oh no.
Is he okay?
What? No, I don't know.
Is he okay?
This is not true.
A few minutes ago.
Is he okay?
Find out. So, I am trying to suggest that
If this country was ruled by?
this country has been ruled by the same people. You know, people like to say that politicians are the same. Have you ever not said that as well?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Do you know that they are not the same? Are you the same?
In a lot of ways.
No.
Okay, we are podcasters, so in that way we are the
in
same.
that
So
way.
politicians,
But politicians are not the same. Do you know why people get to say that politicians are the same? On bad vices. They are corrupt. They are liars.
bali bakolapta mambalaga.
Without
Eba
this,
bakolapta.
the reason why we get to think that politicians are the same is because we've actually been dealing with the same character. Some of the people we have in the UPND today were there in 1991.
Actually, from you, yeah, MD. Yeah.
They jumped from MMD, they came into PF. They were corrupt in PF. They've jumped from PF, they come into UPND, they are still corrupt. Now, when you meet them here, and you met somebody who was corrupt in MMD, you think they are the same people. You've forgotten that you're actually dealing with the same character. Who keeps on coming using different jackets. What this country needs is new bloods, a new mindset, a new perspective, new approaches. Do you know who guarantees you that?
Young people.
The young minds. Which is why you and me must team up. You may not end up as MP or councillor, but you must be the technical minds. Do you know that what you guys are doing, you could have been earning millions of kwacha if this country was run properly?
From your mouth to God's ears. From your mouth to God's ears, sir.
Ordinarily, these are numbers. The podcast attracts so much numbers. Should have been money.
It's coming.
Ordinarily, business houses should be coming to advertise their businesses. You should be booked fully. For 1 year, you have been booked. That is money.
Do you want to book us?
I'm a politician myself. I don't even have money, you know that. Right? So what I'm trying to say is that the role of us politicians is to create an environment where business must thrive.
Yeah.
Because when business thrives, all of you will now thrive. You'll have a podcast, businesses will be coming to advertise their products and stuff like that. That is where we need to go. Who needs to drive us there? We need minds, first of all, people that prioritize the interests of Zambians. Which is why, K+, the agenda of young people through the movement for good governance, ichabaiche, is the salvation for Zambia. It's the only way. No two ways about it.
So when do you plan to run for president?
Well, we've started meeting as young people coming together under the movement for good governance, ichabaiche. Our idea, my thinking is that the people themselves who are coming together must be able to decide who gets to run for president.
Do you want to run for president?
Those young people will say, Binwell, go. I'm too excited to want to do that.
But do you want to do it?
Yes, I want to do that. But I'll leave it to the young people we are putting together. If they think that Binwell should give it the first go, the first shot.
That party that you mentioned, is that your party?
The movement for good governance.
Yeah.
No, it's a political movement.
Okay.
For now. It's
Who's leading it?
I'm leading it.
Okay.
Very political answer. We already know what you just said.
No.
The people will choose me.
No, make no mistake. Do you know who started MMD? MMD was started by the likes of Akashamba Twambi Kustale Wanika. Shiluba came midway and he ended up becoming the president. So it's not entirely true that the one who is leading now should end up becoming president. What if we find that Bake Plus is the best person who fits to be here? What if I die today? There are accents all over.
What's our party symbol again?
No, it's not a party yet.
What's the movement?
we are holding hands.
Oh, Pamaboko.
Isn't that Tonse?
No.
Isn't Tonse a handshake? Yeah.
Anyway, they are brothers, so we don't want to insinuate that. And anyway, we started longer, so
Pamaboko.
yeah.
But yours is not a political party anyway.
No, it's a movement. Yeah.
So if they come up with that first, then
Even
you can't.
Tonse is not a political party.
Or is it not?
No. it's
Oh,
not.
okay. My bad.
It's an alliance.
I stand corrected again. I need to take out my notebook. This, I'll tell you this.
been a great episode.
I enjoy such conversations. I'm a person that loves to learn. If you
Okay.
can change my mind about something, I'm totally open to that. And there's a lot that I had coming in that you've taught me.
Don't you think
that I
that if
didn't
you
know.
had the chance to give, advice on the affairs of this country, you do a good job?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I think that you've done very well in this space.
Thank you.
Podcast. This is an industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a big business. The best person that can advise in this space is you.
You know what's interesting? I was watching the what's the press secretary in America,
I have not even gotten his name.
where she was inviting certain people to sit in, to invite like journalists and whatnot. So they have deliberately excluded the traditional media, and half the people that were given credentials are podcasters. I don't know if you know this.
This is huge. By the way, you know that traditional media houses are falling off because of the advent of social media.
And
I
podcast.
don't even want to go to a TV anymore. This is big.
I mean, you're only just speaking to the presenter when you go on TV.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't go to ZNBC, right? It's just you, the cameraman,
You
and
understand?
the presenter.
So when I ask you a question, don't you think that you can do a good job in advising those in leadership through this space? Because you've now become masters in this endeavor. If I was president, there's no better person I can go to get advice than you guys.
I'll tell you something. We do that in a very small way. And here is how we have come to realize this. The first time that we realized that we are actually not only, I don't want to say influencing, but we say something and government listens, is Kaling and I had an episode that we shot in Livingston. And we were speaking about how extremely expensive it is for locals to be able to partake in local tourism because of how expensive it is. And guess who called us to come on the podcast the next episode? The Minister of Tourism. We had a lady that was arrested for stealing money, and she was in prison, and she spoke about how deplorable the prison conditions are. And
The Minister of Justice.
the Minister of
himself.
Justice called us and said, I was watching the podcast and I also want to give my side of the story. So it's we have kind of realized that as we speak, we do notice that there's people that are listening.
And that's the problem with young people.
That's the problem.
You have a very big problem as young people.
How so?
You don't realize your worth and your power to change the narrative for the country. You are too comfortable in your spaces.
Say we. You're young too.
Me, I've taken a step.
No, touche.
First of all, I did not want to, succumb to the adoption nonsense. I stepped out and went independent. We cannot be comfortable with the norm, the way it has been.
We weren't either. That's why we disrupted the market.
Young people are so comfortable, but you see, you are trend centers. You are influencers. You should actually be dictating the conversation for the next day. You should actually be influencing policy.
Gob, I need this clip. Please take note of this timestamp.
I'm telling you, you guys underestimate your worth. Do you know who knows the value of a product? The owner of that product. Do you know?
No, it's the market.
Do you know what worth?
It's the market
Do you know
that knows the
how
value.
much I think I'm worth? Do you know if somebody was to buy me right now, politician buying me now, how much I can give? They can't afford me.
No, but it's what the market is willing to pay.
So you think that if the market thinks that I'm worth $100,000, so they should bring $100,000 to
Yes, that's what you're worth.
me.
Yeah. I've always said to people, especially with people that come to me and they're complaining, this company is not paying me enough. I have got these degrees and these accolades. And I simply say, resign. If you are that sought after, the market dictates, right?
And that is what I did. When the PF thought that I was not valuable, I put a price tag on myself.
But initially, you did not believe in yourself when you didn't have money. And that's why you didn't want to...
No, but do you know what? It's first of all, even the person that came with money saw me.
So it was somebody that saw you, not you.
No.
You didn't see yourself.
I had been putting value on myself. You know, all those years of me hustling, working so hard, had been adding value. Look, I am from the street. I'm a street boy. I'm a beggar.
Oh, don't say that.
No, I'm a former beggar. I come from the rags. That's the truth. Which is why yesterday I went into Chipata compound. I was talking to young people of some church. I was actually mocking them. I was telling them, don't you feel ashamed that you watch me on TV? I walk here. I show them, see the car I drive here.
What car is that?
The
Fortuner.
I was telling them, don't you feel ashamed that me, a street boy, I've risen from the streets to be watched on TV, to drive the car, to be in parliament, where
be on this
podcast. But some of you actually were born in mansions. Some of you had the best opportunities. Some of you have even gone to universities and whatnot. But do you know why? The difference between them and me is I know my value. And I put a price tag on myself. Such that today, nobody can just walk to me by UPN that no, to kupeleka contract. Otherwise, I could have been like those surrogates, PF MPs who went to dance for Nshima. Not like those. Trust me, of those who have gone from independence, from PF to go to UPND, me, I can be paid, whatever they can be paid together. That is the offer the UPND can give me. I'm more valuable.
Is there anything that we did not ask you
that you
hoped we would?
I don't know. I really don't. There's so much to talk about.
There is. We need a part 2.
There's so much to talk about. But what I would like to say is that I'm glad I'm Zambian. I'm glad I'm Zambian, and I'm glad that God gave us so much at our disposal. The only missing link is that we've got to go dig and find the right leadership. Sadly, what we have had over the years are not leaders. We have had managers and politicians. Until we find the leaders, this country is doomed. Oh, by the way, you need to know, leadership is about character. And character begins from your foundation. The very simple lessons we were taught as young people. When you find an old person, respect them. They are your mothers, they are your fathers. The very fact that they will tell us if you don't go to church, you will not eat. From there, we built character. Leadership is about love. You cannot lead when you don't harbor any love in your heart. Because leadership is about giving yourself, your life to the people that you lead. The problem we have today is that we are being ruled by people who have no iota of love in them. What can they do for the country? All they think about is themselves. They prioritize their pockets. That is why Zambia, amassed with so much wealth, we are busy building foreigners. We are busy gifting foreigners. The foreigners now owns all the land in Zambia. The Chinese in Lusaka, they own almost the entire Lusaka today. The Zambians, if you are Zambian today, if you build a house, tomorrow the deck will be at your house. Can you imagine that in Zimbabwe today, there are hundreds and hundreds of people who owns Bugattis and Lamborghinis. If you buy a Bugatti in Zambia,
you're on the news.
You are a problem to the authorities.
This guy's been failing to buy.
Have you thought about it? You can't buy a Bugatti in Zambia. You are in problems. In Zambia today, we celebrate poverty. We want to see Binwell na Makasa. That's what we become. I am a kind of a person who would like to celebrate success. If I was president, then the first thing I would do is ask all those who have invested outside to bring all their money. If, in fact, what I would do is that if you're going to build a house worth 2 million kwacha, we'll give you an incentive. You will not pay land rates for the next 2 years. So that we encourage people to come and invest here, because when they invest here, okay, after 2 years, we'll be able to get the rates, but they will employ people to manage their houses. That's employment creation. That is the wealth